Hi, welcome to my video response to Gypsy Chick's Art of Tarot series on the Wheel of Fortune. She bases her Art of Tarot series on Rachel Pollack's 78 Degrees of Wisdom. I have incorporated my 78 weeks of study along with a few other books here. It's based on the Rider-Waite-Smith deck that you see here. This is our standard, so we'll base all the rest of the cards on this one. Some of the information that I found rather enlightening or interesting. This card represents change, cycles, luck, destiny, second chances. But it's important for us to realize the thing about change is the reaction that we have. Do we accept it and adapt? Do we find the opportunity to find value or meaning in it? We end up with a greater understanding of life when we go through this card. Eventually, the transformation of the wheel card turns into the world card. The symbols become a victory wreath. The dancer in the center of the world card embodies the truth behind the symbols. The four animals are now something real and alive in the world. We're halfway through, so we're receiving a vision of the inner meaning of life. At the end, that vision has become real and embodied in our own being. Other things that were interesting. The Sphinx with the sword represents mythical mystery consisting of all four elements. It's an expression of unity and diversity. Snake represents Typhon or Seth, the Egyptian god of evil and destruction, the negative or downward principle. And Anubis, another Egyptian god, with the head of a dog or a jackal, stands for the positive, constructive principle. The four elements are also associated with the four evangelists. We have Luke representing the bull, representing the earth. We have Mark representing the lion, representing fire. We have John representing eagle, representing water, and Matthew representing the angel or youngling and representing air. All right, let's get to what we have found on some of these. Okay. I'm going to flip them back over because this is my second time trying to do this because I'm having one of those nights. Okay, so we're going to start off with the Angel Tarot. In the four corners, we have earth, water, fire, and air. We have Archangel Michael in a wheel with zodiac symbols. This is a time of positive change. A situation suddenly moves forward. Fortune is on your side. This card has a sense of fate about it. Everyone has free will and can change the direction of their lives. It's a pretty card. Then we have the Aquarian. Here we have 8 spokes and a wheel. We have a sphinx-like figure on top guarding the wheel. We have nondescript symbols and letters in the center there. We have 2 snakes on either side. And below we have a winged bull and a lion facing each other. In the middle of the wheel, filled with symbols of the future. The middle of the wheel is filled with symbols of the future. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words here. Focus concentration on the center of the wheel. The axle whereupon spins the wheel. The single immovable point is the doorway to the rest of the keys. We have the Archangel Power. We have a wheel. Not my favorite card. We have the Archangel Jeremiel. His name means mercy of God and assists those wanting to review their pasts in a kind and forgiving way. Inspires great visions of the future. New beginnings, end of delays, a change in direction that offers happiness. And we have one of my favorite decks, the Art of Life Tarot. We have zodiac symbols on the wheel, and we have a quote from Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 and 4. To everything there is a season, and a time for every purpose under heaven, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. Perfect for this card. Then we have the Celtic Dragon. Here we have a wheel with 8 spokes. We have an ancient book, the Grimoire of Life. We see a Celtic wheel, which is an ancient symbol that all life turns and returns in patterns, cycles, and seasons. The triform symbol of fate, that Celtic symbol, is similar to the interlocked motif of the 3 triangles that represent the Norse fate goddess Norns. We have the Circle of Life. Oops. Being aware of the eternal cycles that dominate life is the first step towards constructing your own fortune. Then we have the Color Your Own Tarot. This one's a pretty card, I think. We have a wheel with 4 people on the wheel. We have a female figure on top who is crowned with success. The man beneath shoulders the burdens of his fate. The 2 side figures struggle to cling on, unsure of their fortunes. Contemplative, however you want to tomato it. We have a wheel with 4 animals with wings and books and clouds. Number 10 represents the number of reincarnation and wholeness from the vortex of karma. Let's try karma. Surmounted by the enigmatic... Oh my gosh. Okay. So let's just skip that. We have the Sphinx who surveys the scene and surrounded by Kabbalistic letters and globes of light. So if I get my fingers out of the way, you might see some of those little globes there. And we do have Torah. Then we have the Da Vinci Enigma. This one's a cool one. It's called Time. Here we have an elder and a youth looking at each other. We have the aged looking back and the youth looking forward. There's a medieval saying that says, when fortune comes, seize her front with a sure hand, because she is bald behind. The Roman goddess Fortuna was believed to be bald and might only be of service to those who acted swiftly when opportunity presented itself. Those who lose the moment risk loss or annihilation. We have our deck 777, helping people like me with symbols and all that fun information. It says you are the controlling factor of your fate. It has reversals too, but I'm not to reversals yet. I'm still learning. This is one of my favorite cards. Okay, you see 4 people. One of them, you just see the hands down here, drowning down there. You see Torah. It's just a cool card. We have Fairy. You have the Oread, the spirit of fortune. She brings riches and bestows to each what they deserve above all else, and can enrich with money or sentiments, filling the heart with joy. Whatever we take, however, without merit, will sooner or later be taken from us. Of course, that's the reversal, but that was interesting. We have the Feng Shui. I don't have a book, so I'm assuming that these 4 represent the different elements. Then we have the Fradella. And the guy here is Rush. He's still a teenager. He's gifted with speed and runs like a hamster on the Wheel of Fortune, which is a never-ending cycle. Then we have our Gilded, which Gypsy Chick talks about. So we will just skip over that. You can go see her. And then we have the Golden Tarot by Cat Black. Another one of my favorite decks. I just love the artwork. We have the Wheel and 4 Evangelists, which is represented by the Angel, the Eagle, the Winged Cow, and Lion. We have the traditional nativity scene. What you lose on the swing, you will gain on the roundabout. Life will always send challenges and trials to overcome. You cannot have good without bad or light without darkness. But what I really liked, it says, do not dwell on misfortune, but look instead to future joys. And then I have the Golden Visconti-Sforza. Again, this is one that Gypsy Chick talks about. The only thing I'm going to add I don't know if you can see it, but there's like these little banners. And what the top says is, I am reigning. The right says, I have reigned. The man on the bottom says, I am without reign. And the one on the left says, I shall reign. So then we have the Grail. This one's kind of cool. It's got the wheel. And it's a wheel of thrones with kings. Kings could climb to great heights. In a blink of an eye, they still would fall. Arthurian tradition says Sir Gawain, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, one of the first to search for the Grail, encounters Fortuna in her great castle. Here she is described sitting on top of the wheel, being half black, half white, changing constantly as the wheel turns, alternating between hideous and beautiful. While Gawain's in her presence, she remains beautiful, giving advice, helping him discover the secrets of the Grail. Shows that Fortune herself is on his side. It's another really pretty card. Then we have the handle. There's so much on this card, it's hard to really hold it. We have the Hebrew letter Kaf, meaning palm. We have an open hand at the center of the wheel with a rune that means year. It symbolizes the 4 seasons with a single line indicating the unity of life. In Norse myth, the eagle flies at the top of the world, symbolizing looking over one's whole life. Earth follows a 24,000-year cycle, with each 2,000 years in a particular sign of the zodiac. The first 12,000, the wheel turns upward. The second 12,000 is destruction. We are in the destruction stage and can hope that the cycle is ending. As mortals, we cannot know the outcome of events until they happen. So it's pretty cool. Then we have, there's a whole lot of symbolism on that other one. I suppose I could go into it, but we'll just zip through these, otherwise I'll be here forever. We have Hazel Moon's Hawaiian. We have a wheel with 4 animals. Luck describes the external focus over which we have no control, is what their little handbook said. We have the Hobbit, which Gypsy Chick and her daughter really do a good job on. Really liked her daughter's input on that one. That was good. Then we have Legacy of the Divine. Again, this is one that Gypsy Chick talks about. And then Legend the Arthurian. Arthur's Dream is the name of this card. We have a wheel with 4 creatures. Arthur's on the top. The wings represent spiritual flight, able to see all that is happening. With this knowledge, he soars. The round table represents the wheel. The water represents subconsciousness. The serpent represents the deepest rooted fears which lurk there in the subconsciousness. Past experience with each downward turn shakes confidence, making insecurities and mistrust of fortune. Fears inhibit effort to climb. You see that creature clawing there to climb out on that lady? And then you have floating bodies represent life. Fortuna is not always fair. And that's what we tell our kids. Life is not always fair. We have Lord of the Rings. The inscription is 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them. The saying was only visible when he did with fire. The 1 ring made men mad with lust to own or possess it. Those who did possess it lost all power and independent thought and became servants or caretakers, lost in the illusion they would gain vast powers. And then up on top here, we have the 7-sided figure representing the 7 rings forged for dwarves. The middle 3 interlaced circles represent the 3 rings for the Elven kings. The white was the ring of water owned by Galadriel. The red was the ring of fire borne by Gandalf. And the blue was Elrond's ring, the ring of air. And then the 9-pointed interlinked design represents the 9 rings made for mortal men. And on the bottom here you have the Elven Smiths hammering into being the rings of power. And then, of course, Sauron snuck in and figured out how to do it to make the One Ring. Okay. Lost Tarot of Nostradamus. We have a wheel with 4 animals and 8 spokes. The peacock represents pride that comes before fall. The cockerel that crows from the top of a dung heap. We have a lion representing strength that can easily be unmaned. A serpent that has twined itself around the neck of a man dressed in splendid finery. And opposite him, a courtier clings to the tail of a lion, hoping to gain strength. In the top left, you see the hand of God spinning the wheel. Then we have the Mibramig. This one's just cute. We have the wheel with the spokes, 8 spokes, 4 animals with wings and books, clouds, and a sphinx. Very cool. And then you have all these symbols that, you know, I don't know what they are. We have our Mystic Dreamer. This one's a pretty card. We have the wheel. We have 4 people, a sphinx, the 3 fates, astrological glyphs, and the center has the sun and the full cycles of the moon. Okay. This is the first card with our 3 fates. The astrological glyphs represent the role of the stars or fate in the affairs of humans. And then the 3 fates we will talk about in the next card. And the sun and moon center represent the cyclical nature of life or fate. Pretty card. And then we have the Mythic, which definitely has our 3 fates on there. We have 4 people on the wheel, 8 spokes, in a cave. The 3 goddesses of fate were the daughters of Mother Night. Clotho was a spinner, Laxus or Lachus, I'm not sure, the measurer, and Atropos means she who cannot be avoided, the cutter. The cave represents the womb from where life springs, and the tomb to which it returns, the beginning and end of fate. 3 ages of fate represent the lunar phases, and the young crescent, we have the young, which represents the crescent, then we have a full, and finally the dark, and that represents the stages of life. Fate does not come to meet us. We turn to meet fate. Then we have the New Age, with the wheel, 8 spokes, and a sphinx. We have the vessel of life swimming on the surface of the past, the subconscious, and brings happiness, energy, and awareness through the powers of destiny. Then we have the New Palladini. We have a wheel, 4 elements. We have Torah, Sphinx, the Hebrew letters of the Tetragrammaton, which spells the name of God, reminding that whatever happens, good or bad, is all in the divine plan. We have Revelations. We have the wheel, Torah, the Hebrew Tetragrammaton, the 4 animals, 4 elements, Sphinx. We have Anubis and Set. They're both in the wheel. You can see that there. We have an Ankh, the Egyptian symbol of life, and an angel representing spring, a lion representing summer, a bull representing autumn, and the eagle representing winter. Then we have Shadowscapes. This is one that Gypsy Chick talks about. The only thing I'm going to add is that the knotwork here in the center circles around the wheel as a single golden thread without start or finish. Ship of Fools. Definitely have a wheel. We have a tomb-like ditch below the falling fool. We have a hand of heaven turning the wheel. Be humble in good fortune, patient in times of trouble, for the wheel will turn. I can't wait till tomorrow when I get rid of some of these wings. You guys will just have to excuse the hair. It's the cards we're interested in, right? And we have the Spiral Tarot. We have the wheel, 3 fates, and we have the sign of Jupiter and the Kelf, the Hebrew Kelf. And Supernatural, we have our wheel representing Earth and the afterlife. And the Tapestry. This one has Capricorn on it, not Jupiter, which I found interesting. We have a wheel, a Sphinx, we have Set and Anubis, and we have an Eye of God in the center. We do have Torah, and it's called the Wheel of Life. Then we have the Barnes & Noble Tarot with the Wheel, the Sphinx. We have Set and Anubis. We have 4 ring creatures and clouds. We have a spinning wheel of 3 goddesses known as the Fates. And what I found interesting in this book is that this may be hinted at in Sleeping Beauty with the 3 fairies and the fateful curse concerning a spinning wheel. We also have 4 symbols on the wheel on this one. I thought that was pretty cool. Never thought about that. Tarot of Angels. We have the Wheel, 4 elements, and a Sphinx. Hopefully I'm not going too fast, but I'm losing my voice. Then we have the Tarot Discovery Kit, the Zerner Farber. We have a wheel, 8 spokes, a sphinx, peacocks, snakes, eagle, and a horse. Tarot of the Elves. Again, the Tarot of the Elves is one that's it's a story, so you have to kind of read the book with it. Now, the wheel to me is alluded to with the Albrecht surrounded by the Elserins. And the story continues with Albrecht choosing the Sword of Consciousness to go after the magician who killed his parents. Okay, then we have Tarot Illuminati. Again, this is one that Gypsy Chick discusses. Tarot of Love. Cool card. We have Destiny. It's called Destiny instead of Wheel of Fortune, and we have a wheel. We have Yin and Yang surrounded by lotus flowers, and on the outside of the lotus flowers are various stages of attraction. We have encounter, union, aversion, and separation. You see the cranes on top are flying toward each other, and the cranes below are separating. And we have Tarot of a Moon Garden, and I just ordered a book, so hopefully I'll find out some more information about this deck, because I think there's some hidden things in here. We have a Ferris wheel. We do have the tarot words. We have the Hebrew, and then we have the elements, the Sphinx, and 4 beasts, sun, moon, and clouds. Tarot of the Princesses. We just have an allegory of life. We have birth to old age. Tarot of the Vampires. This is one that Gypsy Chick talks about. You can see if you look closely, you can see the 3 creatures. We have 8 spokes. We have the Jupiter sign. We have the half vampire, half panther, which is representing the positive force, initiates fire of life or summer. Then on the left we have the serpent or vampire negative force of retrospection, decay, or winter. The top sphinx-like creature made up of 4 elemental animals. We have 4 colored gems representing air, earth, fire, and water. And the white gem in the center represents spirit. Okay, we have the unicorn. We have the wheel and 8 spokes. Behind the female is a castle representing good fortune and prosperity. The unicorn is spiritual, and you see a little smile. Let me get close. Like it knows the outcome. Now the blood red rose, if you went to grab that, has poisonous thorns on it. Universal Tarot of Marseille. This is another one that Gypsy Chick talks about. Then we have the Vampire Tarot. Again, we have, this one's called Fate. We have a wheel. We have the 3 fates with our back towards us. Then we have night and day. You see a female vampire climbing the wheel and a bat descending. So we have dark, light, active, passive, time to push forward, time to rest. You know, the opposites of the card. Now this one kind of made me smile. I think it's Vanna White in the Wheel of Fortune. This is the Vanessa deck. Just saying. And we have the Via Tarot, which it's the back that I love so much. Okay, we have a wheel with 4 figures, 10 spokes. We have a central female figure standing in the sign of Isis morning. The upper male maintains the gesture of Osiris risen and holds the symbols of Chesed, the wand and the crook. Dark and light, prone females on each side represent life and death. We have the eagle in the palm of the hand with the cross. The eagle represents water, representing St. John the Evangelist. The wheel is Ouroboros. I'm not sure if that's how I pronounce that, but it's the snake consuming its own tail, representing eternity. Then we have 11 white flames or lotus leaves representing great work completed. You can hear my little puppy going back and forth. It's a good thing I'm almost done. I think he has to go potty. We have the Voyager. We do have a wheel. The black amour bearing the treasures of Dresden represents prosperity. We have you have a matador down, whoops, the side, matador over here, representing a risk taker. You want to be optimistic, represented by the golden crown. You have Jupiter, representing that we should think expansively. We have a dancer, reminding us to be flexible and alert, ready to move. Kind of cool. Then it's a hard one for me because I am a type A. I like things I's dotted, T's crossed, makes it so much easier. Here we have the Witchy Tarot. We have a wheel, we have a snake and an owl, and we have the dark and light witches and an elderberry tree, whatever that means. And last but not least, ta-da! We have our Wizard's Tarot. We have a wheel. We have the 3 fates, 8 spokes. We have a ghost of past and future. The 8 spokes represent the solar wheel of the year. We have a Jupiter glyph on the cauldron, back in the back there. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. And then down here we have a little, over here we have a spider web representing the web of fate. Okay, like I said, I can't wait till I get my hair cut. So the next one shouldn't be so obnoxious with my little runaway hair. Rider-Waite, Wheel of Fortune. Interesting. Very interesting card. Be exciting to see the end with the Wheel of Fortune as far as the major arcana. Hoping to keep up with this now every 2 weeks and catch up because I'm very far behind. So have a great night and I'll catch you on the next card.